Hello everyone. Today I have gone to an on-site Feng Shui audit for a client whose house is actually one that is having a modern minimalistic design. And in fact, a lot of new interior design concepts, I realized that they are actually against Feng Shui practices. And today, I just want to do a quick sharing with you. What are some of the common mistakes that a lot of modern house feng shui is having? Because currently I'm in Singapore, therefore I will use Singapore houses as an example, right? So before I start today's session, perhaps we would like to share the screen first. So I will quickly share the screen and show you some of the photos that I have taken today. And hopefully, it will be able to teach you some of the very important basic feng shui concepts that you yourself should also take note of when you are having your new house or when you want to renovate your house. Okay. So without further ado, let me share the screen and show you some photos. So actually, this client, right, that has invited me for an on-site feng shui audit, one of the things that I realized is very wrong with his house is that once entering into his house, there's actually a very long corridor, and that corridor is actually of a few steps lower than the actual living area of the house, as you can see within this area. And it is actually not a very positive feng shui arrangement. In terms of feng shui, it is always best to have the entire house of the same level, right? In terms of the floor, it is not positive to have one level or have some areas as few steps higher than the rest of the area, or some areas that are a few steps lower than the rest of the area. It is not a positive feng shui arrangement. Therefore, what I have suggested my clients to modify is to have a curtain as a form of partition to block these two areas, to separate these two areas, the higher area from the lower area. And also because this area is also the Liu Sha way of the house, which actually, if leveraged upon positively, can bring about peach blossom luck. Okay, so some of the things that I have recommended him to do is also to turn this area into a something like a relaxing corner, or what we call a cozy corner. All right, to have something that can be comfortable for guests to enjoy. For example, maybe some cushions, some carpets, or even sofa. Right, some of the things that some of the furnitures that can be used for relaxation purposes to be placed around this area, right, to kind of overcome this very long corridor, this problem of having a long corridor that is a few levels lower than the rest of the areas of the house. All right, and other things that of course I have to look into is the external environment of the house. This house is of the 对卦, which is facing east, but nonetheless, we still have to observe the external environment, because 峦头 feng shui is having 70% influence to the feng shui of the house itself, whereas the other 30% of influence is from the Li Qi feng shui, which are very much like the flying star feng shui, the eight mansions, house feng shui, etc. Right. So I also observed that there are actually certain bridge that is penetrating into his building, right? The building that he is residing into. But fortunately, it is not directly piercing into his unit, but actually is towards the right side of the window, and actually doesn't affect his house too much. So that is a very lucky part. And but if there are breaches that is penetrating near or being placed very close to your window or to your unit area, there are actually certain things that you need to do to overcome this this negative energy that is delivering to your house from the bridge. And other things that I observed that is wrong with his house is that he's having a open toilet that What it means is that his restrooms, the toilets in his house are not having any walls or doors to close them, because he is a single, the only person living in this very big house. Therefore, he doesn't sees the need to have a main door, like shutting the toilet or the bathing area or the showering area. Therefore, but this is actually a very wrong feng shui practice, because um, our toilet, our restrooms are areas in which unhygienic waste materials are deposited, right? And it is also where the viruses, the germs are all usually are kind of like they will be spread from this kind of area, such as your toilet, the toilet bowl itself, or even the drinks. So if you are having an open toilet, and this open toilet is directly facing your kitchen, especially the stove, of course it is not positive. In terms of feng shui, actually it is not good to have the stove directly facing the toilet. It is a form of clash. Therefore, I have actually advised my clients to close up the toilet. Make sure that there are clear boundaries, all right, separating the toilet from the kitchen itself. Because in a lot of houses, all right, a lot of HDB houses in Singapore, the toilet area is often just right next to the kitchen. And especially if you are into modern design, in terms of the house interior design, a lot of interior design of of the new age are often having a lot of open concept room, open concept a toilet area, open concept kitchen. Everything is open. It There is such a practice because in Singapore, right, a lot of houses are very small. Uh, so to increase the amount of space within the apartments, a lot of people like to open everything up, right? Open up their sleeping room, their big room, their study area, etc. Even nowadays, people like to have open toilet as well, and open kitchen. Of course, it's very common already nowadays. But open toilet is never a positive um, feng shui arrangement. Actually, it is one of the worst feng shui arrangement. If your toilet area is not having any door or any wall or any partition that separate it from other areas of the house, basically it is no difference from living in a toilet itself, because all the dirt, the unhygienic airflow from the toilet into the big room or into the living room will all transmit. Firstly, the smell, the bad smell, right, from the toilet bowl, etc., from the drain area, etc., and the virus and germs will all be spread to the rest of the house. And the wet, toilet is often wet, and the humidity from the toilet mixed with all the viruses and germs and spreading to the rest of the areas within the house is a very negative thing. Feng Shui is all natural sciences, it's all logical. In fact, this client has invited another feng shui practitioner previously into his house to check the feng shui for him. And he actually told me that after the previous feng shui practitioner came to his house to, kind of modify feng shui for him, situations for him in his life actually become worse. So it is very important to find a feng shui practitioner who know what he is doing, and that his feng shui practices is based on logics and science. All right, there are a lot of feng shui practitioners in Singapore who don't know what exactly. They don't even know what is 八字 reading. They don't even know what is 紫微斗数 reading. But they will go, they can randomly pick a card for you, or kind of ask you to buy the light gems or whatever nonsense, and then they will, after that they will confuse you, right? You will invite me to your house to conduct feng shui, and things will even be better. So people after, right, listening to their nonsense, right, then they will fall for their lies. Okay, go to their house, charge them a few $1,000s to for a feng shui audit, but after that nothing improved. So it is very important to find a practitioner who can first of all have a thorough knowledge of what is 八字 and 紫微斗数, and also of course Feng Shui knowledge such as the 九宫飞星 and 鸾后风水, 八宅风水等等. All right, all these are very important. That is also the reason why, all right, within every single Feng Shui audit, I will spend hours explaining to the clients his or her birth chart and also the birth chart of his or her immediate family members. 风水永远都是以人为本 Man is always the center, the most important focus in terms of 风水. Without man, there will never be 风水 because 风水 is the interaction between human energy and environmental energy. And if the practitioner himself is not able to give you an accurate 八字 reading or 紫微斗数 reading, then forget about it. Don't go and waste your time and money asking for a 风水 audit for this kind of practitioners. And for this client, I have actually analyzed his entire birth chart and has gone through the different decade trends with him, confirming with him that certain things, for example, relationships, actually happened during certain periods of his life, which was confirmed by him to be accurate. And also the health of, for example, his mother, and knowing that his mother is actually going through a lot of health problems recently. So 八字、紫微斗数、奇门遁甲、风水, all of them must be used together, right? You cannot just ask a 风水 practitioner to go to your house, then anyhow allow them to analyze your 风水, put this there, put this there, put this, and then just pay him money and let him go home. You must ask him to stay here and explain to me my birth chart. All right, that is what I will always do for my client. Otherwise, the kind of practitioner who just anyhow go to your house, move here, move there, move this thing, move from the right to the left, from the right to the back, without explaining anything about your 八字 or 紫微斗数 birth chart, then that kind of practitioner, basically, you can be very sure they are all there to just cheat your money. All right. The previous practitioner of this client, all right, perhaps I won't mention name, okay, just to be nice, okay, not to mention name, but I would say, right, they also have advised him a lot of wrong 风水 practices. For example, having such kind of coins, I don't know what kind of coins, right? The previous these 风水 practitioners, all right, advised him to place these kind of coins at a wrong area of the house also. So I will really recommend all of us to, check a 八字 practitioner that is, I mean, when you want to find someone who is well versed in 八字 reading, 紫微斗数 风水, really look at their teaching. If most of the time their teaching for you is always about randomly picking a card, then from their imagination they give you some kind of prediction or asking you to buy the kind of 9 gems or whatever nonsense, right? Why I always is talking about 9 gems, because it's very ridiculous. Because in Thailand, the kind of takut casing is cost only $2 Singapore dollars. Then you take that kind of fish, when you keep fishes, you have that kind of small stones, gravels, right? We all call gravel. You just put the different color stones into a $2 case in takut. Then you call it a light gems and sell it for $200, 100 times the profits. All right, and this kind of thing is happening in Singapore. You all know who this kind of person is. So try to prevent yourself from falling into this kind of what I call self-invented 风水 marketing tactics, right? All kind of 风水 marketing tactics. For example, if that 八字 practitioner is always telling you only 12 animal zodiacs and nothing else, then you can also be very sure that kind of 风水 practitioners, first off, they are very limited in their knowledge. Secondly, they are only able to use 12 animal zodiacs as a form of marketing tool to entice you to engage into their services. Because most of the time it will only be a waste of time and money. Okay, so let's not be too off track. Okay, so let's get back to today's topic, which is how to avoid mistakes in modern house feng shui. So another mistake that I realized that my clients is having is that the living area, all right, he is too empty. You see, the whole living area is very big, but it's totally empty. There are actually certain areas that in our house that are positive for the enhancement of wealth and relationship, and you should actually make use of this area to improve your life. Okay, For example, certain areas you can actually place certain form of plants or certain form of feng shui items like the wenchangta or bamboos or certain things depending on what kind of location. For example, in terms of this kind of bazai feng shui, right? We have certain areas that are basically very positive for the enhancement of wealth. They are, for example, the areas that is called Tianyi is very positive for enhancing wealth. Shenji is also very positive for enhancing personal well-being. Yan Yan is also another positive area that can be leveraged upon. Sometimes we will try to place certain positive feng shui items at such area to enhance the house feng shui. For example, there's another area that's called Fu Wei, and this area is often positive for the placing of the altar or the placing of certain feng shui items such as a rounded form of crystal or stone to enhance the stability of the development of the house. And certain areas that are kind of neutral. For example, Liu Sha is in a way can be positive or negative because Liu Sha is an area that can be enhanced to boost personal relationship, especially romance, all right, because it is a peach blossom area. And there are actually certain uh, methods that we can do to further boost peach blossom. But if you are already married, of course, it's not a very positive thing to have more peach blossom within your life because you're already married. You don't really need to have another boyfriend or a girlfriend going into your life. But there are certain areas that are definitely negative, such as the five ghosts area, which is the Wu Gui Wei, and all these areas will need certain feng shui items, certain form of feng shui modification, which with depending on the floor plan and the arrangement of my client's house, I will advise accordingly as to what is appropriate for the client's life. Another common area that is often negative is called the wall height. And wall height within the house is an area that we can often use plants to mitigate this kind of negative energy from the wall height area. Okay, so a lot of things that we need to take note of in feng shui. But all these are things that a professional practitioner should know. And of course, the external environment is also another very positive, sorry, is another very important area that we must take note of because it may bring about positive or negative effects to our own house. For example, if you are staying in near to this kind of shelter, pathway shelter, if your unit is directly facing all these pathway shelter, it is actually not very positive. And there are certain things that you need to do to kind of reflect the or prevent this negative shachi from entering into your house, really depending on the location of your window and your unit. Okay, so generally speaking, I will say modern house feng shui actually are all most of the time are going against the traditional philosophy of positive feng shui arrangement. So all of us really must take look, right, and be careful not to commit different forms of feng shui mistakes. And of course, the kind of plants that's outside the window that you are seeing, the roots, the formation of the roots, the way it curves, whether it is concave or complex, all right, all these will also bring about negative or positive effects for our house. And all this must be analyzed cautiously by a practitioner who really know what he is doing. Okay, so thank you all for watching. Hopefully today's lessons will be able to share with you some of the basic concepts related to feng shui reading. Of course, there are a lot of in-depth knowledge in feng shui. For example, the Zhougong facing are another area that we must look at when we analyze a person's house. For example, in terms of the Zhougong flying star, right, certain numbers are actually very negative. For example, the 2 and 5 are basically very negative numbers for our house. And there are actually certain things that we must do to overcome the, for example, 2, 5 or 二五必选损主, all right? For example, in terms of 九宫 facing, right, there will always be a pair of numbers within certain corners of the house. And all these will actually mean different things. And if so happen that your bedroom or, for example, your kitchen, all those important areas within our house, for example, our main door, kitchen, the stove, and the sleeping bedroom, are falling into the positive areas of the house, of course, it will bring about positive effects. But if unfortunately they are falling into areas such as the 2 and 5 or the 5 and 2 or the 7 and 3, they may bring about a lot of illnesses, even surgery, right, to the occupants. In terms of 2 and 5, for instance, 二五必损主 it will bring about loneliness also, and usually may even bring about divorce, right, to married couples, because 二五交加必损主，主顾科我们叫做呢孤寡有丧妻之痛。So people who have 2-5, right, or their bedroom, their master bedroom is at the 2-5 or 5-2, they may actually experience divorce or unable to, enter into a stable long-term relationship. Whereby 5-2 is also related to 孤寡丧夫之痛, means your husband may pass away, or you may experience a lot of negative luck, all right, in terms of life. And for example, negative number such as 7-3, okay, 7-3 is called 穿心杀, means a kind of sashi that pierces through your heart, all right. 穿心杀主破财 will lead to different illnesses such as problems of the liver, or even legal problems, or have to go through surgery, etc. All right. So these are some of the flying star numbers that we must take note of, and experienced Feng Shui practitioners will always analyze the 9 flying stars, right? The numbers generated by the 9 flying stars, all right, when he conduct his Feng Shui audit for you, especially on 9 Feng Shui audit. So these are some of the concepts or ideas, Feng Shui, some of the ideals that you all should have when you want to have an Feng Shui concept conducted for you. So before I end, just want to take a look at some of the comments. Thank you very much, Mr. Raymond, for watching. Hello, Aries. Aries, yesterday was your birthday, so happy birthday, Aries. Miss Maka, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you have a good day of rest today, Miss Maka. And open toilet, how guess you? Yes, exactly. All right, Miss Maka. Just now when I went to my client's house, I also couldn't go to the restroom because it is an open concept restroom. So that's the reason why it is not it's a modern concept. Because why my client is having this open concept toilet is because he stays alone by himself. He doesn't stay with any family members. But nonetheless, it is still a very strange concept. And as I have explained, because toilet is an area that's very dirty, so a lot of air that is unhygienic, full of viruses and germs may be spread to the rest of the house. Yeah, so Aries, I don't like too open. Yes, actually, it's not very good to have a house that is too open. Another common problem in modern house Feng Shui is a lot of condominium, they are having window that is totally open from the ceiling to the floor. All right. All these are also very positive, very negative Feng Shui, right? Very negative Feng Shui. What we call the 坐地窗 that is open from the floor to the ceiling. All these are not very positive at all for Feng Shui, because in terms of Feng Shui, 永远都是有一个重要的重心点，就是重要的一个 main point 就是呢要聚气，长风聚气 means you are able to kind of collect the positive qi or a positive airflow within an area, 长风聚气. So I will actually not advise my clients to have that kind of window that is all the way from the ceiling to the floor, or the floor to the ceiling. That kind of window is not positive at all. Because one of the reasons why I want to have window is, of course, to open it for airflow to come in, or to let the air within your house to be circulated, right? It doesn't make sense to have just a piece of glass and close it all the time. The purpose of window must serve the purpose of the window. That is very commonsensical, right? So if you have the kind of window that is all the way from the top to the bottom, and when you open it, airflow will be too rapid, and you are not able to 长风聚气, and it's not a very positive Feng Shui arrangement. Hello, Mr. Stephen. Thank you very much for watching. I'm doing well, and hopefully you are doing fine too. And yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you very much. So this is some of the basic concepts within Feng Shui, this very ancient wisdom called Feng Shui that I wanted to share with you today. Tomorrow will be the first day of my 八字 intensive training course, or what I call the intensive 八字 practical analysis course. All right, it will be the first day of my teaching. So for my students, remember to log in to the Zoom session that I will share with you tomorrow at 3 p.m. So I will see you all then tomorrow. Remember to also, if you want to, can start preparing your questions to ask me during this live lesson. All right, tomorrow at 3 p.m. I will see you all there. And for the rest of the viewers, thank you very much for watching. If you like my video, please like and share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thank you all once again for watching. If you all have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will stay here for a minute to wait for any questions from my viewers. Okay, it seems that there are no questions from our viewers. So have a good rest, everyone. It's Saturday evening, so tomorrow is Sunday, but I still have to work. All right, I work from Monday to Sunday. So thank you all for watching. Thank you very much, Miss Maka. And yes, I have been taking the honey that you have given me. Very nice honey. Thank you very much, Miss Maka. So I will see you all in the next live video. Thank you all once again for your kind support, and do feel free to like and share my video. So I will see you all and have a good Sunday tomorrow. Bye bye.